Welcome to episode 18 of Concise Game Reviews. I'm your host, Relicar Delta. And today's review features Avowed, developed by Obsidian and published by Xbox Game Studios. At the time of writing this, Avowed was available on Steam, Xbox Windows Store, Battle.net, and Xbox Series consoles. You might also want to keep in mind that it's available on Xbox Game Pass as well. Now, on with the review. I'm going to start this review by making two statements. Number one, Avowed surpassed my expectations and I have a lot of good things to say about it. Number two, you cannot go into Avowed expecting it to contain dozens of immersive RPG components like you find in Baldur's Gate or Skyrim. Now, I'm going to attempt to explain those two statements. Avowed is a focused gaming experience, not unlike Obsidian's previous work with The Outer Worlds. However, unlike their previous work, Avowed sits squarely in the fantasy action RPG category. You build a character, choose your core stats, and the game drops you into a mystical world of magic, strange creatures, and other typical fantasy tropes. Keep in mind that Avowed takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe. I admit I don't know much about Pillars of Eternity, but that didn't hinder my enjoyment of the game. Regardless, the game quickly introduces you to combat, which is probably the game's defining feature. The real-time combat, simply put, is fantastic. There's a healthy variety of weapons, and regardless of what skills you choose as you level up, the game doesn't restrict your creativity. You could even dual-wield odd combinations like a pistol in one hand and a dagger in the other way. Anyway, let's keep moving. The rest of the game revolves around two other main functions, the conversation system and adventuring. Conversations are obviously meant to drive the narrative forward, and how much you get into the lore of this world is up to you. Despite what I've read in other reviews, I find the narrative side of the game to be perfectly acceptable. It's lore heavy to be sure, and the game spends far too much time trying to explain everything to you, but the writing is competent. To be clear, it's not going to blow your mind, but it's definitely going to get the job done. The last component of the game I'll mention for this review is the act of adventuring in the game world. Exploration is a core concept in Avowed, despite the game not being a true open world format. The game provides plenty of opportunities for exploration and rewards players who venture off the beaten path. There's a fair amount of variety in the quests as well. One quest might be a simple bounty mission, but another has you traversing a dungeon or solving a problem for a shopkeeper. Before we wrap up this review, let's talk about what not to expect in Avowed. I don't like to do this in my reviews because, quite frankly, I think it's the wrong way to review a game, but given how easily this game could be mistaken for something like Skyrim, I feel I need to do this. Avowed does not contain complex role-playing social functions. There's no crime system. You can't go on a murderous rampage in town. It's not a romance simulator. There are dialogue options based on stats, and Avowed contains multiple endings, but you need to understand the limitations here. Regardless, I found Avowed to be a great experience for someone like myself. The focus on a few core systems kept me coming back again and again. If you're looking for the sequel to Skyrim, maybe this isn't the game for you, and that's okay. And with that, this is Relicar Delta signing out.